you, Mr. Georgia. My name is Abi Higgins, and I'm the senior class president of 2018. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this morning's ceremony. I would like to welcome the Board of Education, Superintendent Green, our principal, Mr. Georgia, Mr. Francisco, and this year's teacher marshals. Thank you all for what you do behind the scenes that make it possible for student success, and for coming today in support of the graduating class. I would also like to welcome all OFA staff, alumni, friends, and family. Thank you for making the journey to this morning's ceremony, whether it was across the street or across the country. I would also like to give a special shout out to my grandparents, Grandy, Gramps, and Mum. Hi, I love you guys. Finally, I would like to give a big welcome to the graduating class of 2018. Standing here on this stage is unreal. Graduation was always one of those things we talked about but never believed would actually happen. But I can assure you, today, it is actually happening. So welcome and congratulations. Today is a day of many firsts and lasts, not only for the graduating seniors as they become OFA alumni. This year was supposed to be the first class to have graduation on the front lawn as our stadium is being rebuilt. A little change of plans. For all our parents, this may be your first graduate, or it may be your last. Today is also the first graduation of a class mostly born in the 21st century, which is pretty cool. But this class is used to being first, to paving way into the unknown territory, especially when it comes to school. For example, we were the first class to receive iPads here at OWEGO, paperless education. Let me tell you, that was a great year because there were no restrictions on our app store. Let's just say we were the reason Candy Crush had to start pumping out new levels every week. It was all we would do in class. We were also the first class to suffer through Common Core curriculum. It wasn't fun, but we must have passed because we're standing here today. Oh, and open phones in the hallway and during lunch. Yeah, that was us. But what I'm trying to say is, this class is truly resilient when it comes to being the guinea pigs, a trait that will be very helpful in our future and attests to the character of each and every student that makes up this class. All in all, we have a class of about 140 students. Within it, 2-time state champions in volleyball, a number of athletes moving on to play at the college level, over $130,000 in scholarship money spread out to 49% of the class, and all state-level performers in chorus and band. We have world travelers, writers, performers, singers, rappers, and we have Tommy Johnson. Yeah. Class of 2018, it has been real, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to your highly anticipated graduation ceremony. But, as Mr. Georgia said, I am also the salutatorian of the graduating class, which means you get to hear me speak for another 3 to 6 minutes. So I would like to thank everyone again for coming out this morning. The support here at OWEGO from my fellow graduates and me is truly unmatched. Family, friends, alumni, teachers, and administrators give so much time and effort toward the success of every individual. I am so grateful for everything and everyone who has made it possible for me to be standing here today. And more importantly, to those who have shaped me into the person I am as I move on to the next part of my life. This is a tight-knit community, so many of you know me, whether it is as a friend, a teammate, a classmate, or just one of the many faces you pass in the hallways or on the roads. But for those of you who don't, or are from out of town, there is one thing that you probably should know about me. I am an optimist. Yes, I know, cursed with perpetual happiness. You can ask any of my coaches or my friends. I usually walk around with this huge smile on my face, which hasn't been that bad since I got my braces off freshman year. Because of this, when I was asked to speak about the future of the class, it was so easy for me to envision everyone's success in college and beyond. For example, it's easy to see the work ethic and fire behind Abby Murtha's eyes that will excel her in life and probably let her apply to med school by the time she's 19. It's easy to see the passion for music in Joey Kupsavich and Hunter Gonzalez as they sing in the lobby or share insane raps on Snapchat. Yeah. It's easy to point out the courage of Casey Delaney Hammond as she sets off for Africa next year to teach English to kindergarten children. It's easy to see the successful futures of our numerous, and I mean numerous, future physical therapists. But I have a confession to make. I am an optimist, like I said, except when it comes to myself. I look out at all the students in front of me, and I see strength, resiliency, passion, knowledge, and numerous other qualities that will take them so far and make them so successful. And then I look at myself, and I notice a few more faults than I do qualities. And I see a lot more opportunity to fail. And you see, I don't think I'm the only one. I think there are other people on this stage, graduating today, or even sitting in the stands, who feel the same way as I do. On my last day in PIG, participation in government, we did this activity where we passed around note cards, and each card had a random question on it for us to answer. The questions ranged from your favorite color to how you would handle some obscure existential crisis. And one of the questions was, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? Which is a pretty basic question, I think. Sorry, Mr. Swider. I know you're out there. I know we have all answered it at least 1,000 times in our short lives thus far. But the girl who answered it said something completely unique, and I don't think she realized the effect it had on me, especially writing this speech. She wanted the ability to give someone a looking glass, or in other words, to be able to show someone how she sees them. Because, she said, whenever someone felt bad about themselves or lost sight of their own qualities, she wanted to be able to restore that by showing them what they actually look like. In today's day and age, it's too easy to lose sight of yourself by comparison to others. We do it with social media, with careers, with SAT scores, with all of our successes and failures. We lose sight of how great we are, the accomplishments we have, and the success we will come to in the future. And with that, I would like to say a few things. First off, if you think you are ever not good enough, you are not alone in your thinking. I can tell you from experience, almost everyone is faking it until they make it. I know I am. And for the few who aren't, they are the ones you should watch out for, because they have stopped growing, stopped pushing themselves to become better. Second, no one is the same person in real life as they are on social media. I'm sure I don't have to tell you this, but it's always a good reminder. Third, no one has had an easy road to get to where they are today. Life is hard, that's a fact. And everyone has felt hardship in their own ways. Just because you might not be able to see it doesn't mean it's not there. Which leads into my final note. The future is filled with success and with failure, which I'm sure you've heard many times. But no matter who you are, there is no straight path to get to where you want to go. The work you put in will outnumber every success or failure. But that work and that journey is what makes life worth living. I know I only have 17 years worth of wisdom, so I won't preach too much, but one thing I have learned, specifically on the sports field, is winning only feels rewarding if you worked for it. Luck, although necessary, has no real reward. In the next few years, as many of you move on to college, the military, or onto your careers, you must learn to work for yourself and find reward in the little things. Because pretty soon your best friend won't be there to compare test grades or to hype you up if you're having a bad day. So, class of 2018, as we move into the future and lose ourselves numerous times, only to reinvent who we want to be and follow our passions, I hope you remember two things. I hope you remember me standing here in front of 1,000 people, not as an optimist who faked it all the way to second in the class, but remember me as a looking glass. I see strength in every single one of you, not just the few whose stories I've had the privilege of hearing. I see your strength when walking through the hallways on dreadful Mondays. I see it when many of you are on the field or on the court. I see it across the lobby when you are with your friends. So if you think I'm not talking to you, then I am. I've said it before, this class is resilient, and I admire that. So, I invite you to reflect on yourself through the eyes of an optimistic 17-year-old girl. You may be surprised at all of your qualities. I know I believe in you. Second, if you don't remember me, always remember Owego is your home. Love it or hate it, you've spent the past 4 years here at OFA. No matter how far you go, and trust me, I plan on going far, you can always come home to the coolest small town in America. Thank you. I hope you all follow your passions and are met with the success that I can so easily predict.